There's a whale who's been secretly accumulating Bitcoin, and they now own over $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now, there's a lot of talk that this whale could be Blackrock. Now, Blackrock is huge. Blackrock controls over $9 trillion worth of assets. It is big.
88% of the companies on S&P 500, 88% of them, the largest shareholder of those companies is either State Street, BlackRock, or Vanguard. 88% of them. Okay.
The interesting thing about that clip, right, that you've got BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, right? So BlackRock is the largest asset manager, and then you've got Vanguard, and then you've got State Street. What's interesting is that these entities all own each other, right? BlackRock owns State Street. Vanguard is an investor in State Street. So it's the same people who control large amounts of money. And if these people are buying up crypto, okay, if BlackRock is buying up crypto, as many people think, that is good for crypto, at least in the short term, because they are not going to be dumping. If they already own 88% of the stock market, if they're getting into crypto, they're going to want to own a large chunk of it. Now, this is good for the short term because it means price go up. But in the long term, I think it's going to be detrimental because this is going to give them power over the ecosystem, and they could start to control the prices, where the prices go. And if they have wallets that nobody knows, who knows if they start selling non-existent Bitcoin? I mean, exchanges have done that. This is exactly what Sam Bankman-Fried did, is that people, his exchange essentially had no Bitcoin, very little wrapped Bitcoin. But then they could, if you wanted to buy Bitcoin and hold it there, they would just credit your account that you have one Bitcoin, which they don't hold. So if you start having big players that could potentially do that, and obviously, I don't know how they will be regulated if it's allowed, because you might have a situation where they're allowed to sell more Bitcoin than they have. I mean, that's the banking system that we have today. That's how it works. Banks are allowed to give money they don't have. So I think over time it might not be so great, but in the short term, it's going to be great for price if they're accumulating more, because whatever the case, even if they do the fractional reserve of Bitcoin, they're at least going to need to hold billions in their wallets. They're going to need to hold billions of Bitcoin. So I think that this could be a game changer for the short-term price of Bitcoin. And this is, a way to think about it is just like the God whale in Hex. The God whale came and then he spiked the price of Hex up and the price held. So if you have something like this happening in Bitcoin, that's good for the whole space because it creates more value and everything goes up, and which is good for all of us. However, I gotta say this, right? It's even more impactful for smaller tokens, because now when you're looking at Bitcoin, you now need an Elon Musk to buy. You now need a Vanguard to buy, a BlackRock to buy. It's no longer something that ordinary people can just buy. It's now something that you need the big players to come in, because those are the ones whose capital is big enough to drive the price up. Anyway, guys, all in all, I think this is short-term great for Bitcoin. Now, some people are saying this, right? They're saying that they're buying in preparation for a Bitcoin ETF. And it's getting a lot of people excited that Bitcoin ETF coming mean number go up. And I disagree with that premise completely. Bitcoin ETF, no number go up. The reason why I say that is simple. No entity, no institution does not have access to buying Bitcoin right now. No one is being stopped from buying Bitcoin because there's no ETF. If you want exposure to crypto, you can. MicroStrategy is a publicly traded company. Coinbase is a publicly traded company. You can buy those companies. That gives you exposure to crypto. And look, if you look at MicroStrategy, it definitely goes up with Bitcoin, definitely dips with Bitcoin. So you can get that price exposure if you want. Or you can just buy the good old Bitcoin. If Tesla, a publicly traded company, could buy and hold Bitcoin, any other company can do it too. So I don't think that there's any entity who's being stopped from buying Bitcoin because of lack of an ETF. So I don't think an ETF is as big a deal as many people like to say. But they're saying that this buying up the $3 billion could be in preparation for a Bitcoin ETF. Now, what it could be is a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. Now, we haven't seen price performance. The prices are kind of actually dipping. So, if it is a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing, yeah, it might just be a sell the news with no buy in it, right? I mean, we've seen those events where it's just a sell the news and there's no buy part. The price doesn't pump initially and dip after. The price just dips after. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again next time.